Welcome back, everybody. Wayne Voles here with Profits Unlimited. Appreciate you coming back and taking a look at a few things on our podcast channel here. Today, we're going to talk about snow and ice management and how it relates to how do you decide when you're going out. What I call it basically is who makes the call. Is it you deciding when you're going to go out to service your accounts? Or are you waiting for your customers to call you and say, okay, Mary Lou, our lot needs to be serviced now? How's that set up within your company? And there's a lot, whether you're doing one account or 1,000 accounts, you need some type of methodology in play to let you know who's responsible for making the call when you go out. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, but because that's something that I struggled with, quite honestly. Initially, for about the first 3 or 4 years we were in business, was we had some accounts set up that we automatically went out and serviced. We had some accounts that called us for service and the problems that created. Okay, share some of that in our video today. But why is it important that you're in control and you make the call? We'll get you thinking a little bit here. Why is it that you can't sit back and wait for the customer to call you and say, okay, I need service? I know you're giving yourself a million reasons like I did on why I let the customer make the call versus me making the call. Sometimes you think it gets into a situation where they don't think we're going to make the right decision. Well, okay, if I let you make that call, Wayne, then what you're going to do is every time we get a flurry, you're going to come out here because you're going to want to make some money. And I'm the business owner and I don't want to spend the money. So I'd rather call you. Well, I got to thinking one day, man, this isn't pizza delivery. We want a pizza, we get on the phone and we call somebody and say, man, I want a pepperoni pizza. They bring us a pepperoni pizza. But also, that pepperoni pizza that we just ordered, that company's got no liability. There's no risk. You and I have a lot of risk. We're really risk managers for our snow and ice accounts. We don't plow snow. I guess we do. And we don't melt ice. And I guess we do. But what we really do, what we're really hard to do, you and me and everybody that's in this business of snow and ice management, what we're really hard to do is to be a risk management company for the customers that we service. Have you really thought about it like that? Or do you just consider yourself the plow guy or the de-icing guy? It's one way of looking at it. There's nothing wrong with looking at it that way. But I challenge each and every one of you today to look at yourself a little differently and say, I'm in the risk management business for my customers. And the only way that I can effectively help manage your risk of a slip and fall is to let me manage that account. I've got to be the one that you trust, both professionally, and that's very important, and from a knowledge standpoint of when the right time to come out and service your property. That's the type of clientele you need. And that type of management certainly is not for everybody. Without a doubt. You're going to tell and you're going to find a lot of customers that say that's the dumbest thing in the world. If I need service, I'll call you. Same way if I want a pizza, I'll call and get a pizza. And there's hundreds of contractors that like working that way. You don't have to be one of them. I didn't have to be one of them. I elected to be one of them for a few years because I didn't know what I didn't know about selling my service as a risk management firm and not as a plowboy or a de-icing boy. and I say that with all due respect. I don't mean that in any shape or fashion being critical of you or anybody in this industry. But I didn't perceive myself as a professional risk manager for the people that I was going to service. Because we assume the risk of the liability of a slip and fall. And we're not talking about contracts in this talk today, but your contract's got to be written well enough on who's responsible for making the call. And if it's you, your customer's got to let you do it. Because if it's think of it this way. Let's say your customer's got a 2-inch trigger on snow plowing, right? Or de-icing service or whatever it is. There's a 2-inch trigger. That magical word out there, right? Whatever that trigger is, 1 inch, 2 inch, 4 inch. First of all, that's another whole talk. Where are we measuring the snow, right? But if you're on a 2-inch trigger, does your contract say it's a 2-inch trigger and you're not to apply or do anything until there's 2 inches on that lot? Or is that just a verbal communication between you and the manager or you and Miss Smith? Because if it's a verbal communication and it's not documented and you've got a slip and fall, this is probably going to get ugly before it gets better. And that's what I'm trying to keep you out of. Don't make that mistake that we made. There's too much liability. You make the call. You be responsible for making the call when you're going out. Because conditions are different at different locations. I think every one of us can agree to that, right? You know, you've got the manager facility, Mary Lou, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're out providing service for people. And she wants to be called because she's the manager of the facility. And Mary Lou lives on the other side of the city. And you're sitting in your truck at their lot, and you're saying, Mary Lou, we need to plow this lot. She looks out the window, and it ain't even hardly snowing here. At best, we got 1 inch. Now you're stuck, right? You're sitting on her lot with 2+ inches. Because what I found in 40 years of doing this, snow's a whole lot like rain. You guys have seen this. One part of the city gets more or less. So if you've got a manager on the other side of the city, if they look out their window at 2 in the morning with 2 in the morning eyes that you've been up all night with, and you're seeing pretty good, and they're looking out and don't see much, let's just wait a while, right? Let's just wait a while, see what happens. You can't wait a while because what you're doing then, when you skip that lot, you're going to the next one. And you're 2 or 3 away from it. And then finally they get in and say, oh man, there really is 3 inches of snow here. Probably should have them do something while they were here. So now they give you the call. Hey, Wayne, I need you guys to come back by and get this taken care of. Man, there is quite a, we got 3 inches of snow over here we need dealt with. So now you got to backtrack. Now traffic's out. Now you're being reactive instead of proactive. That's what I want you, that's the takeaway from this talk, is in snow and ice management, being reactive is a lot more expensive than being proactive. Not only from a plowing standpoint, but also from a material standpoint. Because what happens once that snow's been driven on and it's packed down and there's no material down there? Turns into a sheet of ice, right? Snow's driven. Now when you come in and plow it, even with these great plows we got now with the down pressure and all this and that and all the sizzle that they sell with plows now that do a very good job, there's still packed ice is hard to get up. So we plow it. Now we're going to put a de-icing material on it. It takes more material to melt through it because it's packed in. Now your customer gets sticker shock when they get the invoice. So that's another reason it's very important that your customer trusts you as a professional to make the right choice and let you be proactive versus reactive to reduce their cost. So you're not only reducing the risk of a slip and fall, you're also reducing the cost of your service to them from a time to plow and a material required standpoint. And from your standpoint, your routing, whether you're routing 1 truck or 100 trucks, is a whole lot easier if you can just take your route sheet out with you, whether it's on paper or on an iPad or however you're doing your routing. And you know I'm going here, 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 and here. I'm not going to do 1 and 2, go to number 7, and then number 3 call me and I got to backtrack all the way around. So when you look at it from a professionalism standpoint, it's important that you make a call just because liability is going to be reduced in most situations, 99.9% of the time. Conditions are different at different locations. So when you call somebody 10 miles away, it's going to be completely different at their house than it is at their business. Less material, better routing, you're more profitable. That's why you need to make the call. Remember, profit is not a dirty word.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave us a comment below and we will get back to you soon. If you aren't already, please subscribe to our channel. Also, go like our Facebook page where you can interact with us and the whole Profits Unlimited community. Check out our great website with all of our 100% money-back guaranteed products at ProfitsRUs.com. And remember, stay tuned for the latest and greatest content from us at Profits Unlimited.